Hi, this is day 10 for me in Ghana and I've moved house. I'm now in the home for retired priests, whereas previously I was in the convent. The convent was fine, and you don't get, the accommodation in Ghana is basic, and that's fine, it meets all the needs. The shower at the convent didn't work in my room, and I was kind of coping. The convent doesn't have a hot water supply either, so I was having what I called a cold water bucket wash twice a day, and each time I would walk into that bathroom and I would look at that bucket and say, I can do this is fine. And I was sort of, the water isn't that cold anyway, it's tepid, so you just kind of cope, and as soon as you finish, the air's so warm, it's 30 degrees, so you dry very quickly, and it was fine. And the sisters at the convent were waiting for the plumber to get a part, and I wasn't complaining, it was fine. But the hospital administrator, Father Michael, asked me to his office on Friday and said that he hadn't known that I didn't have a shower that worked, and he wasn't happy about that, and he wanted to move me. And I felt guilty for the sisters because they've been very good to me. They've made me good meals, they've accommodated my vegetarianism, well, semi-vegetarianism, and they've been lovely people. But Father Michael said, no, I was moving, so today I have moved to this, which is the home for retired priests, which is within the hospital grounds, and it's absolutely cavernous. It's all terrazzo flooring, wide corridors. I think there's about 10 rooms, and there's only me, Father Michael, and Father Isaac, who's the new hospital chaplain here. It's very spacious. There's a massive kitchen. There's no cook here. There was a cook at the convent, but it'll be fine. I can cook for myself fine. Father Isaac has a dog here that's a guard dog, which is a kind of small bull mastiff type dog called Franklin. And I have said hello to Franklin, and he just looked at me and he licked his lips, but there was no sign that he was going to be friendly. So I just said hello, and all I want him to do, excuse me, is to recognise that it's me. I don't need to be able to pat him or anything. So yeah, I am in new accommodation, and I tried the shower, and I had a hot shower, which was quite joyful. Because it's in the hospital grounds, I thought I'm going to go across the hospital and jump on their Wi-Fi and download a film, so I'm going to watch American Made tonight. And when I went across, I was sitting in the antenatal waiting area because there was no clinic on. And I was just sitting staring at this film downloading, and there was a family came and sat near me, and you know, a mum and a dad and a wee child of about, was crawling, so maybe 8-10 months, and there was an older lady who's maybe the grandma, and the younger woman who looked like the mum came over to me and she said, did I want to join them for some food? And that's just typical of the Ghanaians. These people don't have much at all, yet they were willing to share their space and their company and their food with me. And when I looked over, I said no, it was okay. I was a nurse, and I was just in to choose the Wi-Fi, and she was fine. And I said, are you visiting someone? She said, yes, my husband. And I looked over, he had a Venflon in for an IV line. He didn't have it connected, but he'd obviously had IV drugs at some point, and I realised he's the patient. So they must have brought food in for him to give him, and they were offering me some of that food, which is just lovely. And I spoke to the lady and told her I was a nurse, and we had a brief chat. But that's what the Ghanaians are like. They're just, even though they seem to have so little, they're so kind and generous. So tomorrow is Monday, back with the mental health team. I'm going to try and get an appointment with the nurse manager to have a chat with her. And yeah, new digs, hot shower.